Welcome. In the fourth lecture of this module, the heat integration of the process, and today we shall see the pinch design method for heat exchanger network design. In the previous lecture, I introduced you to this method. After identification of the targets for heat exchanger network, we shall now start placing matches between the process streams, and pinch design method is essentially an algorithm for that matching. We said that we shall demonstrate the pinch design method using an example, and for simplicity, like for maintaining the continuity of this module, I am using exactly the same data as used in the previous lectures, the 2 hot and 2 cold streams, and that data is appearing on your screen now. I had explained this data earlier. The total cost target is the capital cost plus the operating cost, and delta T min is the governing factor that decides the trade off between these two costs. Capital cost is a single time cost which has to be annualized in order to add to the operating cost, and in the module of economics this project economics, we have seen as how we can do it, how we can annualize the capital cost. It has to be done using a capital recovery factor, which is given as I into 1 plus I to the power n divided by 1 plus I to the power n minus 1, where I is the interest rate per year and n is the number of years. So, the annualized heat exchanger capital cost is the capital cost into the capital recovery factor. What I will do is that I will demonstrate the data, stream data, in the form of a grid diagram that is appearing on your screen. I have given the pinch in the dotted line. So, this is the process pinch. The pinch temperature for hot streams is 150 degrees, for cold streams is 140 degrees. We have determined this using problem table algorithm in the previous lecture. Okay, we have total of minus 61.5 megawatt of heat excess, and we need 59 megawatts of heat for the cold, for heating of the cold streams. Okay. We have two utilities, steam and cooling water. Steam can be used above pinch, that QH min we have already determined, and that was 7.5 megawatt, and then cooling water can be used below pinch. Okay, the QC min also we have determined as 10 megawatts in the previous lecture. What should be the design strategy? We have already identified one design strategy in the previous lecture, that we shall start our design at the most constrained region of the problem, that is near the pinch, and in addition we shall use some more criteria to help us match the streams without violating the delta T min constraint. So, the first constraint that we already have introduced, start the design at pinch. Pinch is the most constrained region of the problem. At pinch, delta T min exists between all hot and cold streams, and due to this the number of feasible matches in this region are restricted. Quite often essential matches are to be made in this region before we go for the subsequent matches or complete heat exchanger design. And if why? Because if these matches are not made at the constraint region, there is either use of temperature difference smaller than delta T min, which is undesirable, or excessive use of utilities, which is also undesirable, and both of these can result in increase of the cost. Okay, and we may have also go for heat transfer across pinch, which is prohibited. If the design is started at pinch, then initial decisions are made in the most constrained part of the problem, and this is less likely to lead to difficulties in meeting or designing of the network with given constraints later. Okay. So, what is the first constraint? Okay, that is the CP inequality constraint. Now, I am again demonstrating the same thing with an example. Now, at pinch, both hot and cold streams are at pinch temperature, okay, which is 10 degrees centigrade, delta T min. Our constraint says that no heat exchanger will have temperature difference at any end lesser than delta T min. That means, as the heat exchange is taking place between hot and cold stream in a heat exchanger, then the temperature difference between them should increase. Okay. Now, what I show here, consider the match between stream 1 and 4 in an individual exchanger, okay, which is above pinch. Now, this What is the peculiarity about 1 and 4? Stream 1 has Cp of 0.2, stream 4 has Cp of 0.25, and we are considering above pinch region, that means this region which I am marking now, dotted, red dotted. Now, since the hot stream has a Cp greater than the cold stream, okay, at pinch the match starts with temperature difference equal to delta T min, and if you see the relative slopes of HT profile of the two streams, which these indicate that the temperature difference becomes smaller as we move away from the pinch. Okay. Now, here the stream 1 has Cp lesser 0.2 than stream 4. So, because of lesser Cp, its temperature will rise faster than the reduction in temperature of stream 4, which has a higher Cp, and then the temperature difference as we go away from pinch, means as the two streams are exchanging heat in the heat exchanger, is likely to reduce, which will violate our delta T min constraint. Okay, this is the violation of delta T min constraint, and which is not allowed. Okay. Therefore, we get one more constraint for placing matches between the exchanger, is that the Cp inequality should be obeyed, which means above pinch, okay, the hot stream should have Cp value lesser than cold stream, which is now shown in the diagram which appears on your screen now. On the other hand, matching hot stream 4 with the cold stream 3 above pinch results in larger temperature difference as we move away from the pinch. Okay. If you match 2 with 3, we are matching a stream 4 with the cold stream 3. Okay. 4 has a Cp of 0.25, 3 has a Cp of 0.3, which means the cold stream has Cp higher than hot stream. Okay. And therefore, the temperature difference is likely to increase as we go away from the stream. That means, if we place a match between 3 and 4, the temperature difference at the left end will be 10 degrees centigrade, which is delta T min, and at right end the delta T will be greater than 10 degrees centigrade, which is allowed, which is permitted. Okay. Therefore, we get one constraint, that above pinch, okay, Cph, the Cp of hot stream should be less than or equal to Cp of cold stream. Now, we can make a similar argument for below pinch region. For below pinch, for the same reasons and arguments, we can write Cph has to be greater or equal to Cpc. Okay. However, we should note one point, that Cp inequality given above applies only at pinch or region near to pinch. As we go away from pinch, okay, then the temperature difference increase, and in that case we need not obey this particular constraint. Okay. So, Cp inequality given above applies only at pinch when the both ends of the match are at pinch conditions. Okay. As we go away from the pinch, that constraint is relaxed. Okay. Now, we have to make Cp table. This is essentially listing of the Cp values of hot and cold stream at pinch in descending order. This helps in identification of the matches in the region of pinch. Okay. And I am giving below the Cp table for the problem at hand. Okay. The following figure shows grid diagram with Cp table near pinch. So, what we have done? We have listed all streams with increasing order of Cp. Above pinch, Cph less than or equal to Cpc, below pinch Cph greater than or equal to Cpc. So, these are the constraints. The next constraint is that of the number of streams, but let us see one thing before we go ahead. Cold utility must not be used above pinch, that is, all hot streams must be cooled to pinch temperature by heat recovery in the above pinch region. Hot utility might be used on cold streams above pinch, okay, if they are not able to meet the temperature targets. It is essential to match the hot streams above pinch with the cold partner. If the hot stream is at pinch condition, cold stream to be matched with it must also be at the pinch condition, otherwise delta T min constraint is violated. Okay. Then the feasible design arrangements with this constraint, CP inequality constraint, is that stream 4 with CP equal to 0.25 should be matched with stream 3 with CP equal to 0.3, stream 2 with CP equal to 0.15 can be matched with stream 1 which is CP equal to 0.2. Then below pinch region, stream 4 with CP equal to 0.25 can be matched with stream 1, that is CP equal to 0.2. Now this leaves us one stream which is unmatched, okay, in the below pinch region, that is stream 2. Stream 2 is not matched in the below pinch region, and then we can use cold utility for that particular stream. Okay. CP inequality applies only when a match is made between the two streams both at pinch. Okay. This is very important thing which I already mentioned to you, that CP inequality applies for near pinch region. Away from the pinch, the temperature difference increases and it is no longer essential to obey CP inequality. Exactly similar conditions apply for the grid diagram with CP table below pinch. No use of hot utility, heating of all cold stream to pinch temperature by heat recovery. Cold utility may be used to match the hot streams, and cold and hot streams to be matched, both should be at the pinch conditions. The next criteria that we are going to see is that of Tykov heuristic. Now this is related to the number of streams which I just mentioned. Okay. Now once we decide the matches around the pinch, like which streams have to be matched, then the next question that we have to answer is that how big should be these matches. In other words, what should be the total heat load on any exchanger. After making matches around the pinch region to satisfy the criteria for minimum energy, design should be continued so as to keep the capital cost to minimum. Okay. One important criterion in capital cost is the number of units, okay, which should be kept at minimum. Keeping minimum number of units can be achieved using what is known as the Tykov heuristic. Okay. What is Tykov heuristic? To tick off a stream, the individual unit are made as large as possible. Okay. In that, the smaller of the two heat duties on the streams to be matched. Okay. Which means that whenever we are matching two streams, okay, then the target temperatures of either of these streams should be met, okay, which means that stream goes off the design, which means the total heat duty on that particular stream is satisfied. Let us see this particular constraint, Tykov heuristic, with the same example that we are working with, two hot stream, two cold streams. Now we are looking at now above pinch region, okay. And now we shall see how we can successively place heat exchangers to tick off a particular stream. Okay. Now we have stream 2, the CP table and stream grid that is now appearing on your screen. We have stream 2, 4, 1 and 3 all above pinch region. Okay. Now with CP inequality constraint, that CPH should be lesser or equal to CPC constraint. Okay. How we can place match? Stream 2 can be coupled with stream 1 that we have just seen, okay. And then the total heat load, the total heat which is available with stream 2 in the above pinch region is 250 to 150 into 0.15. That means stream 2 has available with it 15 megawatt of total heat. Okay, 250 minus 150, 100 into 0.15, the CP value. Okay, so 15 megawatt. However, the stream 1 requires only 8 megawatt because it has to be heated from 140 degrees to 180 degrees. Okay, that is 40 degrees rise and its CP value is 0.2. So 8 megawatt. So stream 2 can easily give that much of heat to stream 1, and then we place a match and then place a heat exchanger of 8 megawatt capacity, and then the stream 2 is ticked off, which means the heat duty on stream 1 is ticked off. That means the total heat duty of stream 1 is satisfied. Similarly, we can match stream 4 with stream 3, as we just said, due to Cp inequality constraint. The total heat available with stream 4 is 12.5 megawatt, and the heat that is required for stream 3 is 27 megawatt. Now stream 4 can easily give away all of its heat to stream 3, okay, and then meet its target temperature 150 degrees, and then we place a match. We place a heat exchanger of capacity 12.5 megawatt between stream 3 and 4, and then stream 4 is ticked off because its target temperature is met after placing the stream. Okay. Now we have lot of heat left out in stream 2. So what we do is that we first calculate the exit temperature of stream 2 after it exits the 8 megawatt heat exchanger between 2 and 1, stream 2 and stream 1. That can be done very easily. Okay, I leave that exercise to you. Okay, we have 8 megawatt and 0.15. So we can easily calculate the exit temperature of stream 2 as it exits the 8 megawatt heat exchanger. I leave that exercise to you. 8 megawatt is equal to Cp equal to 0.15, and at one end we have the temperature of stream 2, that is 150 degrees. So T minus 150, and then you can see that T is equal to 203.3 degrees centigrade. So that is the temperature of stream 2 when it exits when it enters the 8 megawatt heat exchanger. Now we have already ticked off 2 streams, and we have come significantly far from the pinch region. So the Cp inequality constraint is no more applicable. We still have 7 megawatts of heat left in stream 2, and stream 3 still requires about 14.5 megawatt of heat, because the total heat requirement of stream 3 above pinch region was 27 megawatt, out of which only 12.5 has been satisfied. So stream 3 requires 14.5 megawatt. Now we can match the stream 2 with stream 3. Okay, stream 2 has 7 megawatts of heat left. All of that heat can be absorbed in stream 3. Okay, and then we place a match, this 7 megawatt heat exchanger. Okay, and that ticks off the stream 2. That means now stream 2 has given away all of its heat to the cold streams above pinch region. However, stream 3 still has not met its target temperature of 230 degrees, because only 7 megawatt out of 14.5 megawatt requirement has been given by stream 2. Now you can calculate the temperature of stream 3 as it exits the second heat exchanger, 7 megawatt heat exchanger. That can be done exactly the same way as explained before, that appears on your screen now. Okay, and that turns out to be 205 degrees centigrade. And now we have absorbed all of the heat from hot streams above pinch region into cold streams. We have no more now heat surplus above pinch region. Now therefore surplus heat requirement of stream 3 can be met with hot utility. Okay, we still require 7.5 megawatt of heat on stream 3, which can be met with hot utility, and therefore we now place a heat exchanger between stream 3 and hot utility, that is steam, which has a capacity of 7.5 megawatt, and now the last stream, that is stream 3, is also ticked off. This means that in the above pinch region we have essentially 1, 2, 3 and 4 exchangers. That was above pinch region. Similarly, we can show a step by step design with Cp inequality constraint for the below pinch region, which we see now. The hot utility requirement as found with the individual matches between the stream is QH minimum equal to 7.5 megawatt, and which was exactly the same as the value found with problem table algorithm in our previous lecture. Okay. So, that point we note here. Now, we go for below pinch region. Here we see the step by step design. I have made a stream grid. Okay. The pinch temperatures 150, 140 degrees. Below pinch region we have 3 streams, 2, 4 as hot streams and only 1 cold stream. Okay. Now, with Cp inequality constant Cph greater or equal to Cpc, we can match stream 4 with stream 1. Okay. And then again we have to see that which heat duties are high is lower. Stream 4 has 17.5 megawatt available with it and stream 1 requires 24 megawatt. So, all of the heat of stream 4 can be absorbed in stream 1. So, that now stream 4 is ticked off, it meets its target temperature of 80 degrees, but stream 1 still requires 6.5 megawatt of heat. The exit temperature of stream 1 as it comes out of the stream is 52.5 degrees centigrade, okay, which you can easily calculate using the same way as before, as we explained in for above pinch region. Okay. And then we can place a match between stream 2 and 1. Okay. Stream 1 now requires only 6.5 megawatt of heat because it has already taken 17.5 megawatt of heat from stream 4 and it has a temperature of 52.5 degrees centigrade. Now, after giving away 6.5 megawatt of heat to stream 1, the stream 2 has still left with 10 megawatt of heat, okay, and then the temperature of stream 2 as it exits the 6.5 megawatt exchanger is 106.7 degrees centigrade, determined in the same way as before. And now we don't have any cold stream left because there was only one cold stream below pinch region which had a heat requirement of 24 megawatt, which has been met, 17.5 megawatt from stream 4, 6.5 megawatt from stream 2. So, stream 1 is now ticked off. Okay. Now, whatever heat is now left with, whatever 10 megawatt heat is left with stream 2 can now only be absorbed with in cold utility. So, we have to use cold utility below pinch now, and we place a heat exchanger between cold utility, that is cooling water, and the stream 2, and the capacity of this heat exchanger is 10 megawatt. So, that completes the design with placing of the heat exchanger between cold utility and stream 2. The stream 2 is ticked off. So, all 3 streams are now ticked off and the design is now complete. The total design is essentially an amalgamation of design above pinch region and below pinch region. Above pinch region we just saw that we needed total 4 exchangers, okay, and below pinch region we need 1, 2 and 3 exchangers. So, the total number of exchangers, total number of units that we need are 7, including exchangers employing hot and cold utility. The Tikoff heuristic takes the design towards the minimum number of units. When we use the graph theory, we found that the minimum number of units was S minus 1, and this is what we seem to achieve exactly. For above pinch region, we had totally 4 streams and 4 stream plus hot utility, so total 5 streams, and we ended up with 4 exchangers. For below pinch region, we had total 3 process streams plus cold utility, so 4 streams, and we ended up with 3 exchangers. So, the total number of exchangers in the entire heat exchanger network here are 7. So, the Tikoff heuristic has taken the design towards the minimum number of units as predicted from the graph theory. Before placing of the matches between hot and cold process streams, the Tikoff heuristic indicates that the number of units are equal to number of streams including utility minus 1. And needless to mention now, I am repeating it for convenience, that Tikoff heuristic satisfies heat duty on one of the streams every time when 1 unit was used, and that is why it gives us the minimum number of units. The stream that has been ticked off is no longer the part of the remaining design problem, and thus the Tikoff heuristic ensures that having placed a unit, one stream is removed from the design problem, and then we achieve the target number of units equal to S minus 1. Now we summarize the algorithm of pinch design method. The above mentioned design procedure can be summarized in 5 steps. First is the division of the problem at pinch into separate problems or separate regions. Okay. Then the design for separate regions above pinch and below pinch is started at pinch, and then slowly we move away from the pinch. The temperature feasibility requires constraint on Cp values to be satisfied for matches between streams at pinch, Cph less than or equal to Cpc above pinch and vice versa below pinch. The loads on individual units are determined using Tikoff heuristic to minimize the number of units. Away from the pinch, there is more freedom in choice of matches because the Cp inequality is not mandatory as we move away from the pinch, and in this case the designer can discriminate on the basis of judgment and problem knowledge. Now let us see some special cases, and these are the threshold problems. We have already seen threshold problems in previous lecture. Threshold problems are those problems in which the temperature or the enthalpy is matched at one end of the problem. That means you do not require either hot utility or cold utility. Like the one which you see on the screen now is that one which requires no hot utility, which means all required temperatures of cold streams are met with heat absorption from hot streams. Okay. The philosophy of pinch design is that start the design at a point where the process is most constrained. Now in case of threshold problems, there is no pinch. Therefore, how we can determine the starting point? If the design is pinched, the most constrained region is near pinch. If the process has no pinch, then what should be the starting point? Now I have given an example on the screen, okay, where you have basically no hot utility requirement, but only the cold utility. The most constrained part of the problem is the no utilities end, like this end. This is the most constrained part of the problem. On the other end, you have cold utility, which you can vary. And then what we find is that the most constrained region is the region with the minimum temperature difference. Like if you see the temperature difference in these regions, we have the minimum temperature difference between the two composite streams at the hot end problem or the most constrained region, and then we start our design at that point. Okay, that means we start our design at the point of the no utilities end. Okay, no utilities end, the hot end. And now you can see here placing of the matches, the Cp table. Okay, this is the region with smallest temperature difference, the hot end, and there might be constraints, and thus the total grid diagram is as shown. We first make a match between stream 1 and 3. Okay, we have total 3 cold streams and 2 hot streams. The temperatures are also shown, and then finally we see that there is no hot utility requirement as such. Okay, and then these are threshold problems with larger driving forces, but still essential matches are placed at no utilities end. So we place 2 matches at no utilities end. We see another, that was a problem with no hot utility. Okay, we shall see another problem with no cold utility. Okay, here no cold utility. I have also given the grid diagram for the streams. Okay, we have total of 2 hot streams and 2 cold streams, and the temperatures are also given. Okay, and then we can make essentially the matches as I have shown in the very much same way as we did for the previous design. Okay, and then we shall see is that the best design strategy for such problems is that they are treated as pinched problem at the point of minimum temperature difference between the composite curves. The 2 composite curves are as shown, and we shall monitor the temperature difference between these 2 composite curves at different points at different enthalpy interval, and where the temperature difference becomes minimum, it need not be delta T min, it may be higher than delta T min, but along all enthalpy track the temperature difference becomes minimum at this particular point. So, what we call this point is pseudo pinch. Okay, and the best design strategy for such problem is that they are treated as pinched problem at the point of minimum temperature difference between the composite curves, and then the design starts, and then we move away slowly from the temperature, the pinch point or pseudo pinch point. Okay. So, these problems are very much similar to the problem that we have seen, which has a pinch. Okay. The same pinch design methodology can be followed for these such problems. However, the only difficulty in such problem is that one half of the problem, that is cold end, will not feature the flexibility which is offered by matching against the utility. Now, let us see one peculiar aspect of pinch design for a heat exchanger network, that is stream splitting. In some cases, it is not possible to create appropriate matches because one or the other design criteria cannot be satisfied, and one such problem is shown here, okay, where we have 3 hot streams and 2 cold streams above pinch region. If we have to follow the tick off heuristic, then we can place 2 matches which will tick off either hot or cold streams, but we shall still be left with 1 hot stream for which there is no matching cold stream. Okay. Now, how do we cool this particular, like in particular case, the stream 3 has no cold partner. In this case, how we can make a match for stream 3? Okay. We cannot use cold utility above pinch because that will violate our constraint, okay, the basic constraint, and it will increase the operating cost. So, the only solution for such problem is that we split one of the cold streams into 2 parallel branches, and now each of the hot stream has a cold partner, and now that particular split stream design is shown on the right hand side of your screen. We are splitting stream 5, the one which has a higher CP, that is split. Okay. So, and then we make 2 parallel streams, and then we have basically partners for all 3 hot streams, cold partners for all 3 hot streams. Now, this feature gives us an additional criteria for designing of the network in addition to the CP inequality and the tick off heuristic criteria, and that is in terms of stream number. Okay, the stream number criteria. The stream number criteria above pinch is such that SH is less than or equal to SC. That means the number of hot streams at pinch in the above pinch region should be lesser or equal to number of cold streams at the pinch. Okay, including the branches, means including the splitting. Okay, if the situation was reverse, in that there is more cold streams than hot streams in the design above pinch, it is no problem because we are allowed to use hot utility above pinch region. So, if a cold stream does not have a partner in the above pinch region, we can match that cold stream with hot utility. For similar reasons, one can argue that the stream population constraint for below pinch region should be SH greater or equal to SC. So, all hot streams, all cold streams should have hot partners if any hot stream does not have a cold partner, that discrepancy can be met with cold utility. Now I am showing a similar situation here. We have here the 2 hot streams below pinch region and 3 cold streams. Now after matching 2 units, okay, after putting 2 units, okay, Teekoff heuristic, we are still left with 1 cold stream. We cannot use hot utility in the below pinch region, and to take care of this problem, the solution to this problem is that we split the hot stream with high Cp value into 2 parallel streams, and the branch of stream 2 is matched with stream 5, which did not have a partner, hot partner. Okay. Yeah. Again, if there are more hot streams than cold streams in the below pinch region, we have no problem, because we can use hot utility in the below pinch region. The stream splitting could also be required because of Cp inequality, and one such problem is shown on the screen now. Okay. We have, let us say, 2 cold streams in the above pinch region and 1 hot stream. Now this is okay as far as the stream population constants Sh less than or equal to Sc is concerned. So that is satisfied. But now we have another constraint of Cph less than or equal to Cpc. Now look at the Cp values of the streams. This hot stream has a Cp value of 5, and the 2 cold streams have Cp value of 4 and 3. So none of the cold stream has Cp value sufficiently high to be matched with the hot stream. And now if we place a match randomly, okay, then we are likely to violate the delta T mean constraint. Okay. Now what we do? The solution to this problem is that we split stream 1 into 2 parallel streams, and the Cp value here is, the split streams are 3 and 2. So Cp value 5 is split into 2 branches with Cp 3 and 2, and now these 2 branches are matched with the streams 2 and 3, because the first branch with Cp equal to 3 is matched with stream 2 with Cp equal to 4. So the Cp constraint is obeyed, and then the second branch of 1 with Cp equal to 2 is matched with the cold stream C with Cp equal to 3. So that constraint is also obeyed. So that means stream splitting may be required because of Cp inequality. Similar situation is shown for below pinch region now. We have for below pinch region 2 hot streams and 1 cold stream. So as far as only stream population constraint is concerned, Sh greater or equal to Sc, this situation is okay. However, we have problem of Cp inequality. The cold stream has a Cp of 7 and 2 hot streams have Cp of 5 and 4. Now none of the hot streams has Cp high enough to be matched with the cold stream, because we have a Cp constraint that Cph should be greater or equal to Cpc, and none of the hot streams have Cp high enough to be matched with the cold stream. Now what we do is that we split the cold stream into 2 branches. The Cp7 is split into Cp4 and Cp3, and these two branches are matched with the 2 hot streams. Like the one with Cp equal to 4 is matched with stream 1 with Cp equal to 5, and the one with Cp equal to 3 is matched with stream 2 with Cp equal to 4. Okay. And therefore, we have the constraint of Cph greater or equal to Cpc satisfied. In some other design problems where the streams are split to satisfy Cp inequality constraint, it might create problem with number of streams at pinch such that the equation Sh greater or equal to Sc below pinch and Sh lesser or equal to Sc above pinch region is not satisfied, which may require further splitting of the streams. The stream splitting adds another degree of freedom in the design. For example, we have split the streams into 2, like for example in case of above pinch region, we had split the 2 streams, we had split the hot stream into 2 branches with Cp value 3 and 2, but it need not be 3 and 2. like the split into branches could be 4 and 1, and then it still satisfies because we have CPH lesser or equal to CPC. So we have one cold stream with CP equal to 4. So if this is CP equal to 4, okay, it is still obeying the CP constraint. So the split could be 4 and 1, it could be 1.5, say 2 and 2.5 and 3, like that. So the splitting of the stream adds a degree of freedom, that point we note. Stream splitting options. The hot or cold streams could be split into branches with different CP value, still obeying the CP constraint. Like in the first example that we saw, we could have had the CP value 4 and 1 or 2.5 and 2.5, and all of this would have obeyed the CP criteria, or 2 or 3, so on and so forth. Okay. So this adds a degree of freedom in the design. Now how do we choose between them, between these options? We fix the heat duties on 2 units and change the branch flow rates, okay, and then temperature difference across each unit is changed. The best choice can be made by sizing and costing of various units in completed network for different branch flow rates. Okay. So that point we note, by fixing the heat duties on 2 units, of the branches, the flow rates or CP values are changed, and the variation of temperature, variation of delta T Lm is noted. The best choice can be obtained by sizing and costing of various units. In the completed network. For different branch flow rates. Now we shall show this particular pinch technology algorithm in the form of a flow chart. Okay. You have the stream data at the pinch, then you have to first see whether the stream population criteria is satisfied, SH less or equal to SC for above pinch region. This particular chart is for above pinch region. If it is satisfied, then you have to check the CP inequality constraint, CPH lesser or equal to CPC constraint. Okay. and if that is also satisfied, then you have to go and place the matches. Now, if the stream population is not satisfied, then you have to go for splitting of cold streams, and then once again check whether the CPH and CPC, the stream population criteria and CP inequality criteria is satisfied. If the CP inequality criteria is satisfied after splitting of cold stream, then you can go and place the matches. However, if that is not satisfied, then you have to go and split the hot streams, and once again check whether the stream population criteria is satisfied, and then the whole algorithm follows. If the stream population criteria is satisfied, then you have to see the CPH lesser or equal to CPC criteria. Again it is satisfied, then you go and place the matches or you repeat. Okay. So, this is like the algorithm for above pinch region. We can write a similar algorithm for below pinch region. You start with the stream data, then you check the stream population criteria, whether SH greater or equal to SC is satisfied. If that is satisfied, then you check the CP inequality criteria, that is CPH greater or equal to CPC. If that is also satisfied, which is the luckiest situation, then you can go and place the matches. In case where the stream population criteria is not satisfied, then you have to go and split the hot streams, and once again check whether the stream population criteria is satisfied, then CP criteria is satisfied, okay, and then if that is done, then you place the matches. Now let us say after splitting of hot streams, the stream population criteria is satisfied, but the CP inequality criteria is not satisfied, then you have to go and split the cold streams. And then once again you have to check the stream population criteria and then the CP inequality criteria and go and place the matches. These are the two flow sheets which summarize the pinch technology algorithm that we have seen in today's lecture. This brings us to the end of this module, that is heat integration of the process. We have tutorial section of this module in which we shall apply all the principles that we have learnt in this module, the principle of composite curves, the principle of problem table algorithm, principle of delta T min, and then the pinch technology network design algorithm that we have learned today for different problems. Thank you.